As the mind, so goes the body. There I sat in the airport lounge, kicking myself for having created a sore eye. For several days, I'd been at a conference where different issues had arisen that I'd allowed to irritate me, and bingo, I created the symbolism in the form of a scratchy, watery eye. It was now mid-afternoon and hours since I'd awakened with the problem. As the plane entered its assigned airspace, I dropped the back of my seat and decided enough was enough. What I needed to do, I knew, was to drop my irritation at the events that had occurred and the people involved. Obviously, how I had chosen to view the conference was my reality, and I could change it by changing my beliefs and feelings. So I cleared my mind, released my judgments, saw it as the play it was, selected, directed, and acted by me in alignment with my beliefs, and then fell asleep. I awoke 20 minutes later to a clear and pain-free eye. Seth says, the inner self keeps the physical body alive even as it formed it. The miraculous constant translation of spirit into flesh is carried on with an inexhaustible energy by these inner portions of being, but in all cases, the inner self looks to the conscious mind for its assessment of the body's condition and reality, and forms the image in line with the conscious mind's belief. Maybe there is important information to know about the body, but it's difficult to imagine what it might be. That Seth quote is the bottom line, so to speak. Whatever the body experiences, the mind has made it happen. If you know a way to bypass your beliefs when you create your reality, let me know. As far as I can figure, they control every aspect of physical existence, and our bodies are no exceptions. Someday when I'm out of this world, I'm going to find Errol Flynn and ask him why he died with the body of a 75-year-old when he was only 50. I'm just nosy enough to want to know what beliefs aged him ahead of his time. In The Nature of Personal Reality, Seth makes the comment that natural hypnosis and conscious beliefs give their proper instructions to the unconscious, which then dutifully affects the body mechanism so that it responds in a manner harmonious with the beliefs. So you condition your body to react in certain fashions. Daily behavior and chemical functioning smoothly follow according to the belief. Linus Pauling, twice the recipient of the Nobel Prize, died of cancer at 93. To many people, his name is synonymous with vitamin C. He not only championed the belief that vitamin C builds healthy bodies and prevents certain diseases and illnesses, he lived his talk by taking 18,000 milligrams per day. He advocated mega doses to treat cancer and prevent common colds. Pauling believed his ingestion of vitamin C delayed the onset of his cancer for 20 years. Did it? Possibly so, but his strong belief in the need to protect the body from disease also may have set the stage for the cancer. To protect from means there must be something threatening lurking in the wings. It's an acknowledgement of a belief in vulnerability to something outside the self. If the world's population chose to drop the mass belief in cancer, would it disappear? In a second. Can we individually drop our belief in the killing power of cancer? Most certainly. That's what happens when a person is cured of the disease. Believe it or not, there is logic behind the miracle. Somehow, some way, the ill person radically changed her beliefs, intent, attitude, and focus, and that altered what her inner self could insert into her life. No longer did her inner self have to keep recreating the old condition. It could give It could now give her a non-cancerous body. That's what happens with faith healing too. The person suspends her day-to-day beliefs in her lack of power and assigns God the responsibility for curing her. Luckily, she believes in God, so the belief works in her favor. That she never comes to understand her role in the drama is not important to the outcome. But her body isn't just changed in the present. Seth says, a sudden or intense belief in health can indeed reverse a disease. But in a very practical way, it is a reversal in terms of time. New memories are inserted in the place of the old ones as far as cells are concerned under such conditions. This kind of therapy happens quite frequently on a spontaneous basis when people rid themselves of diseases they do not even know they possess. The flexibility of time and space. Instead of becoming more at ease with our beliefs, we seem to be spiraling out of control in many areas of life on Earth. The baby boomers in some ways have come to represent the current thinking of the masses, and because of their great number, their beliefs become highlighted in the media. According to a new study, baby boomers are much more likely to get cancer than their grandparents when they were at the same age. And the study's researchers insist the increase cannot be fully explained by smoking, better diagnosis, or an aging population. They don't know what's causing it, but speculation says one culprit may be as yet unrecognized environmental hazards. How about mass beliefs in a world out of control? Life that has lost its sense of purpose and a lack of understanding of what causes disease in the first place. Some people are fighting back in their own ways, maybe spurred on by their inner selves to be participants in an exercise that shows the world the power of the mind. For instance, one of the most comprehensive studies on the placebo effect was recently announced. The placebo effect is defined in the study as a natural healing ability triggered by belief in a treatment, doctor, or institution. Actually, that's a great definition of how we heal all of our ailments, whether given drugs by a Western doctor or chicken blood mixed with tree bark by a witch doctor. But back to the study. It's thought placebos work in about 35% of patients. Asthmatics, given an inhaler filled with water, experience the expansion of their airways if told the inhaler contains a potent new drug. A study of 2,504 back surgeries showed that even when no problem was found and the patients were simply stitched back up, 43% had relief of pain anyway. Say the researchers, the placebo effect influences patient outcomes after any medical treatment, including surgery, that the clinician and patient believe is effective. Yes, indeed. Seth, you can become healthy if you're ill, slim if you're overweight, gain weight if you prefer, or alter your physical image in profound fashion through the use of your ideas and beliefs. They form the blueprint by which you make your body. Role-playing through reality. The committee once said, "All the marbles are yours. It's up to you as how you play them." Does that little gem of wisdom mean we choose everything? I mean, everything that happens to us? Yes, according to Seth. He says, you create your own reality. There are no exceptions. No exceptions means no exceptions. We cannot believe we're victims to accidents, another's infection, or secondhand smoke if we believe there are no exceptions. It does not mean that we won't allow outside sources to impact us at times, but it most definitely means it will be our beliefs that move us in that direction. Our beliefs that will determine if and when the outside source will harm us, and if so, to what extent, and our beliefs that will deepen or lighten the situation. Usually about now, someone will bring up the subject of babies and children, because it's very difficult for us to accept that little ones have already formed beliefs that lead them into what we view as serious trouble. When we see the world as immersed in linear time, with a definite beginning and ending to our lives, then the philosophy of you create your own reality through your thoughts, attitudes, and beliefs seems to make no sense when applied to the young. When a mother recently killed her 2 little boys by drowning them, I searched my mind for an explanation of how that exterior event was created. No answer seemed logical, until I remembered that Seth says we couldn't function in physical reality without an enormous data bank of information and experience already built into our psyches at birth. And that includes the belief we have chosen to integrate into our beginning years of life on Earth. The body starts afresh, but the mind never does. So why would the little boys have chosen to die such horrible death? Maybe the question should be reworded to, why does consciousness choose to experience what we in physical reality view as horrible events? The answer might be, ask them next time you meet and listen as they tell you what they got out of it. The first question is loaded with our limited reality slant on life and death. The second neutralizes the emotion and removes the question from our usual sphere of understanding. And the answer tells us there were choices made and directions selected. When we enter this reality, we come prepared to experience many things of our choosing, and we set the groundwork in advance. Form and event always follow belief. So before birth, we mold into our consciousness certain attitudes and ideas that will start us on our overall path. We're not talking karma here. We're talking the wish to experience certain feelings and events for our own personal reasons. Yet, with the built-in flexibility to change our minds at any point in time. In the little boys' case, the committee said they had probabilities at play right up to the end, where they could have opted not to continue with the script. But decisions were made to go ahead and act out the scene. Where does the mother fit into the overall picture? She had the same number of options as her boys, of course, and she chose a path and made it happen through her beliefs and focus. That we disagree heartily with her choice is not the issue at the moment. When we remove the emotion from the event, a structure can be seen that allowed it to be played out according to the final arrangement between mother and sons. Our lesson as consciousness, trying to grasp the implications of probabilities, idea constructions and their effects on ourselves and others, is to judge our reaction to the event and challenge our own thoughts and beliefs that led us into a probability where an event of that nature could occur. We live in a very cooperative reality. We play many roles for each other, but as actors we only select those that fit our backgrounds. If someone asked me to play murderer to their victim, I'd unconsciously refuse. I don't have the qualifications for such a role. i.e., beliefs that lead to feelings of powerlessness, deep anger, or whatever else it takes. But because this is such a cooperative reality, some consciousness with a more acceptable resume will volunteer. It does make one wonder just what our world would be like if none of us had the beliefs that qualified for either murderer or victim. Does it not? Cosmic butterflies. If we're so smart, Why ain't we rich or healthy or loved or happy or peaceful, or when only 33% of Americans feel safe alone at night on public transportation? There's massive work to be done with beliefs in our culture. We can't look to others to solve our problems through legislation, money, social and health programs, or education. Nothing nothing will work that comes at us from the outside. Policies and programs are put in place by people as reflections of their beliefs and the beliefs of their constituents. In an odd way, the conditions these people seek to reform are reinforced because they so strongly believe in the truth of the conditions. The only solution to global, national, and social problems is to change individual belief systems. Finding our beliefs is only a piece of the overall puzzle, albeit a very important one. Changing them, as well as we'll discuss in chapter 7, is really the key. So until we return to beliefs, I leave you with this Seth quote. One meant to tell us it's all okay, we can do it, we can figure it out, we can find our way out of problems and into happiness. 4. If you trust what you are, you can never go wrong in whatever terms you use. You can fly through belief systems as a butterfly flies through belief systems.